Dyno day today with Onpoint Dyno. We're going to be tuning the old trusty 240SX here. It's the first time it's going to be tuned on the GTX2863 Turbo. So let's see how she does.
If you haven't been following along with this project, here are the relevant modifications that you need to know. The engine is an internally stock S14 SR20, and the turbo is a brand new Garrett GTX2863R with a 6.4 exhaust housing. The stock manifold has been modified for an external TurboSmart Comp 40 wastegate, and the cams are Kelford 260-degree intake and 266 exhaust. It's got HKS 740cc injectors and HKS front mount intercooler, while the Tomei 3-inch titanium exhaust and Vibrant GESI hi-flo cat with a no-name downpipe finish off the engine mods. The baseline that I have is way back from when Sasha tuned this on a stock turbo with an AEM Series 2, and it made 240 wheel and 245 foot-pounds of torque. But let's get on to the good stuff. With the new 740cc injectors in place, Sasha had to remap the entire fueling table. Also, with the more aggressive cams and larger injectors, getting the car to idle well meant it would need to run a bit richer than normal. Things were looking up when the GTX2863R made 260 wheel at only 8 psi. Unfortunately, I forgot to shoot footage of the graph, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. After several more pulls and dialing in the boost to a modest 15 psi, we had ourselves a decent graph. The engine made 318 wheel horsepower and 286 foot-pounds of torque. Unfortunately, here's where we hit a snag. No matter how much boost or timing we threw at the engine, it began to detonate. Did you hear that metallic tink? It's pre-ignition or knock or detonation as some call it. No matter the name, it's not good. We can't be sure of the exact cause, whether it be bad gas or an issue with the engine, but that meant 318 wheel horsepower was as good as we were going to do today. Compared to the stock turbo, the GTX spooled only 1,000 RPM later, and by 3,600 RPM was already making more jam than the stocker. That's one hell of a responsive turbo with a fat power band. Garrett, you've done good. We weren't done this dyno session yet though. Ever wonder how much wheel horsepower an exhaust silencer robs? In this instance, 20 ponies. The increase in back pressure reduced boost by about 2 psi, resulting in the power drop. I also wanted to see how much power a catalytic converter robbed, so I pulled the Vibrant GESI hi-flo cat and replaced it with the Tomei straight pipe. As expected, boost pressure jumped to almost 17.5 psi, resulting in gains of 13 wheel horsepower and roughly the same in torque. That means the test pipe isn't actually making any more power, rather it just lessens the restriction on the turbo, which in turn increases boost pressure and results in better power gains. I just got back from driving this car after it's been tuned, and I gotta thank Sasha for doing such a great job on it. I think the Garrett GTX2863R is a worthy replacement for the aging 2871R that everybody runs. The boost is super responsive and it pulls pretty hard all the way to redline, so I'm super happy about the way the car is set up. Not only that, in partial throttle and low speed, it drives really well, almost stock-like. So it's going to be great to be able to drive a car to and from the track that you can kind of enjoy and not have to lug it around or be out of boost. 318 wheel horsepower at 14.5 psi is not too shabby at all. Could we have made more? Of course we could have. However, we had some limiting factors like not being able to advance the timing and run more boost, but I'm pretty happy with the setup right now, so we're going to leave it as is. In the future, I'm going to get some race gas, so hopefully we can try to turn up the wick and make some real power with this thing. However, before that happens, I've got to put it away for the winter time, maybe do some suspension, some aero work on this thing, and get it ready for next year's track season.